And thanks for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. First tonight, police are searching for the person who robbed the Camden National Bank on Main Street in Oakland this morning.
Sergeant Tracy Frost with the Oakland Police Department says officers responded to a bank alarm just before 10 a.m. Units from the Maine State Police, Maine Warden Service, and Waterville also responded to the scene to assist. Schools in the area were placed on lockdown with nobody being allowed to enter for around an hour. The suspect is described as a white male with a baseball cap and plaid shirt. He left with an undisclosed amount of cash and was last seen on foot leaving the area. The investigation remains ongoing, and anyone with information is asked to contact Deputy Chief Stubert or Officer Tim Locke at 465-2202.
Well, a Belmont man is dead following a crash this morning. Maine State Police say shortly after 8 a.m., troopers responded to a single vehicle crash on Route 131 in Belmont. They say the operator and sole occupant of the vehicle was 30-year-old Tambara Arnold of Belmont. They say a witness reported the vehicle losing control, overcorrecting, and then leaving the roadway, at which point it turned over and hit a tree. Arnold was pronounced deceased at the scene. The crash remains under investigation.
Maine is breaking a record with the highest number of homicides in more than a decade. Last week's murder in Lewiston is the 30th homicide so far. The record was 40 back in 1989. According to the Attorney General's office, state police are expected to release more information about these deaths later this week. But as Mal Meyer reports, there are a few notable trends so far.
I woke up yesterday morning and there was a line of cop cars.
The list of homicides this year continues to grow in Maine, often shocking the community and neighbors.
I've never heard incidents like this in the West End ever.
It is concerning that there are so many homicides in Maine.
Camilla Shannon is with the Maine Gun Safety Coalition. State police say several of the homicides this year have involved firearms.
Homicides are just a small portion of the toll that firearms take in our state.
She's excited about an annual report coming from the Maine CDC, now required by law, that looks at firearm deaths, including homicides.
It will give us a basis to really study gun violence trends in Maine and improve our response.
The latest homicide was last week when Lucretia Howard was allegedly shot by Eddie Massey in her Lewiston apartment.
She was trying to leave, and the dude that she was seeing was not going to let that happen.
Several of the homicides have been domestic, involving family members or partners.
What we know is that there are thousands and thousands of people in the state of Maine suffering every day.
The Maine Coalition to End Domestic Violence says there are often signs to watch out for, including a pattern of controlling behavior for years.
Often the person who is the victim of the homicide has said to someone, "I'm afraid that my partner's going to kill me."
To change the trend, she says people should raise awareness about this issue and reach out to those they're concerned about.
Let them know about our statewide hotline number. Assure people that if they call us, it is free, it is confidential, and it's available 24/7.
And that was Mal Meyer reporting. Meanwhile, funeral services are being held this week for some of the victims of a deadly crash in Castine. 4 Maine Maritime Academy students were killed last weekend when a vehicle hit a tree and burst into flames. Dozens turned out for a candlelight vigil last night in Gardner for one of the victims. 21-year-old Chase Fawcett was remembered for his love of the outdoors and spending time with his family and friends. A funeral service for Fawcett was held today in Gardner. Tomorrow, a funeral will be held for the other victim from Maine. A service for 20-year-old Brian Keneally will be held in his hometown of York. 3 other students survived the accident and are being treated for non-life-threatening injuries.
Local firefighters have released more details after finding a plow truck engulfed in flames during the weekend's winter storm. Orland firefighters responded to Cedar Swamp Road early Saturday morning following reports of a plow truck on fire. Lieutenant Matt Gray of the Orland Fire Department says firefighters received a call at 4:19 in the morning. The driver reportedly got out of the vehicle safely before firefighters arrived. Although no official cause has yet been determined, officials speculate the fire may have been started by a faulty hydraulic line.
The fire out eventually, it was certainly more challenging than your average vehicle fire, just because of the size and the makeup of a commercial vehicle. It's got a large fuel tank. Some of the fuel was on fire, so that added to the difficulty.
Lieutenant Gray says they were able to put that fire out quickly and that there were no reported injuries.
Well, the first public hearing to discuss an emergency heating assistance package for Mainers is set for Wednesday. Our A.J. Douglas spoke to the Senate president to learn what leaders of this initiative hope to accomplish.
Governor Janet Mills' initial heating and housing plan was blocked earlier this month by a handful of Senate Republicans. Now, like-minded Democrats and Republicans have announced temporary appointments to the legislature's Appropriations and Financial Affairs Committee. That committee is preparing for the first public hearing for revisions to the Winter Emergency Energy Relief Package. That hearing is scheduled for Wednesday.
I am always supportive of the public hearing process. And the fact that I don't think anyone doesn't understand that, we're in a real heating crisis here across the state.
The energy package will consist of $398 million to finance one-time $450 energy relief payments to households that meet income requirements, similar to the $850 relief checks. Senate President Troy Jackson says the Senate previously rejected the energy relief package due to the lack of public comment on the proposal.
After we have this public hearing process on Wednesday, I'm hopeful that, we do come together, actually do something meaningful for the people across the state.
During the week of December 12th, 13,000 households received one-time payments of $500 for older Mainers over the age of 65, meeting specific income requirements of $18,000 for individuals and $20,000 for families.
We know that when people can't stay warm, especially if they're older or if they're young children, they're more likely to get sick. And what does that mean? They're getting preventable illnesses that could lead them to have high doctor costs, or for older people, even be hospitalized and enter a nursing home.
The Maine Department of Health and Human Services is working to complement the governor's initiative to bring financial relief for heating costs as prices hit record highs.
To make sure that we are both providing relief to a broader set of Maine residents, as in the governor's plan, as well as providing this immediate one-time assistance on a short-term basis to our older residents.
A.J. Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
Well, following the snowstorm over the weekend, thousands of customers are still in the dark, the bulk of them in Oxford County. Earlier today, Brad Rogers caught up with some customers and power crews.
CMP now says most customers will have their power back on by tonight, but they are telling some customers in hard-to-reach areas blocked by trees that it may be one more day without power. Oxford County got anywhere from a foot to 2 feet of snow, a heavy wet snow that snapped trees and brought down power lines.
A big pine tree went across. It looked like to me it snapped the power lines.
On Pierce Hill Road, tree crews first had to clear this tree blocking traffic before line workers could get to work on the power lines, leaving Andy Snyder and several dozen homeowners in the dark. When did you lose power?
It was Saturday morning, about 4 o'clock.
Crews repaired the line today, but before they could restore power, CMP troubleshooters have to drive up and down nearby roads to make sure no other line is down. So it might just be as simple as that.
It hopefully is. Yeah, we can get it on quick because people are getting cold. The novelty's worn off. They're ready for some heat.
Paul Reynolds says crews are working as quickly as possible to restore power. CMP has brought in crews from New York, Pennsylvania, Canada, and neighboring states to assist them.
It's very slow going. It's tedious work, and we're pecking away at it. We got an army of men in here to do it.
Andy Snyder uses a generator to power his propane heater and refrigerator, but he hopes his electricity is back on by tonight.
It's hard of living here. You got to expect it. Got a generator, got heat, got my beer.
Andy Snyder's power is back on tonight along with 66 of his neighbors. Now, CMP does believe, again, that they will have power restored to most homes by tonight, but they are telling some it may be until 11 o'clock tomorrow night until the power is back on.
And that was Brad Rogers reporting. Hopefully, folks who are kind of getting the short end of the stick there are finding ways to keep warm. Yeah. Because it's definitely going to be a chilly evening.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, like that guy said, you want to be prepared for these kind of situations too, especially when you know a storm is coming. So it's just so essential to get to the store and get everything you might need in case you lose power for a few days. No one was expecting it to be this long, but a lot of people still without power.
Yeah, for sure. And with a little bit more on what we can expect weather-wise, let's take a first look at our forecast.
Hey, Beth, thank you. Happy Monday. Your first weather is brought to you by Kings Mountain RC. And okay, so here we go. Temperatures today did what they were supposed to do. 34 here in Bangor, 35 Bar Harbor, 32 Millinocket. We'll take it, but it's going to be a roller coaster week temperature-wise, as we could go for 50 on Saturday. Okay, but for now, we have the wind out of the northwest, a few gusts today near 20. We're going to keep this wind going for a few hours tonight and throughout the day tomorrow, as there's a system right here kind of backing up into our area. It'll give us some few flurries, some light snow showers, not a big deal tonight, but there's high pressure off to the west of us. As they squeeze together, they get the wind to pick up as well. Our next system, though, is over here across the Great Lakes. That will be in here later on this week. Our forecast then for tonight, though, is cloudy skies, a couple of flurries out there with low temperatures in the 30s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth?
All right, so not too chilly overnight. We're hovering around the freezing mark, but, it's not frigid.
Yeah, definitely manageable, but, hopefully not too much more rain on the way. We'll hear more about that later, though.
We'll hear more about that.
All right, well, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10. Recovery advocates urging Bangor City Councilors to allocate more funds to support substance abuse treatment.
And Maine Jewelry and Art announces it will close its doors after years in business. Those stories and more local news when we come right back.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Research shows people remember commercials with nostalgia. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's one that'll really take you back.
It's customized home insurance from Liberty Mutual.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Bouchard Cleaning, rebuilding and restoring means more than just another job. To us, it's about bringing back cherished memories, restoring unforgettable moments in time, and giving hope when all was thought to be lost. For over 35 years, our mission has remained the same. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration.
Waiting. Sometimes it's just inevitable. But if you're over 50 or live with a chronic condition, untreated COVID could be deadly. Got COVID symptoms? Get tested and get treated right away. It can't wait.
Planning your holiday meals and parties? Don't forget about visiting W.A. Bean & Sons in Bangor, just minutes from the Broadway exit in the Beaumark Industrial Park. Come see why W.A. Bean was voted best butcher shop in Bangor as you get your filet strips of ribeyes custom cut by professional butchers. Try one of their famous honey glazed spiral hams or smoked turkey or chicken. Open on site Monday through Friday. Maine products made by Maine people. W.A. Bean & Sons. Quality meats since 1860.
Put a little more cash in your bank. Save money with half-off deals at foxbangor.com.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Hello, everyone. I'm Craig Colson. Coming up on the next Good Morning Maine, we'll be talking about recreational marijuana. A special guest will join us to talk about how sales have been going since pot was legalized in Maine, along with how the local dispensaries work. We'll also see what Mr. Food is cooking up in the test kitchen. We hope you'll join us.
For more than a year, Bangor City Councilors have been debating how to spend the American Rescue Plan Act funding they received. Recovery centers across the city are urging councilors to act more swiftly. Matthew Juronsik explains.
After receiving $20 million in funds from the American Rescue Plan Act last year, Bangor City Councilors are still debating about where to allocate the money. City councilors have acknowledged the drug addiction crisis is getting worse and worse. So far, discussions have centered around purchasing more detox beds, but Wellspring Executive Director Suzanne Farley points to another area of need.
Right now, what we need here in Bangor, for sure, are some relief for affordable housing. Safe, decent, affordable housing for people to afford is really where I think that money should be targeted. While I think detox beds may be a need in the state of Maine, our records show that we're meeting the need right now.
Bangor-based recovery centers are pushing for a multi-pronged approach to help solve the issue.
We talked about a threefold investment. One is in housing, 2 is in mental health, and 3 is in substance use recovery. So that's what we've been asking for a year and a half, year and a quarter to be accurate now, really asking the city to make that kind of investment.
And with Bangor being one of 6 municipalities that receive funding from Congress, Farley believes the funds are a golden opportunity to address the issue.
I would love to see a residential program that's the next level of care up for those folks that don't qualify for outpatient. And it's only 30 or 45 days because we don't have enough available treatment for the next level of care after they detox.
However, with other issues such as providing more service to the elderly, infrastructure, and even making Bangor more modern, City Councilor Gretchen Schaefer says there should be more funds to benefit everyone.
We should make sure that we are using this money that impacts all residents so that we are not leaving out children, senior citizens. I know that there's a great need for housing and homelessness services, but I want to make sure that we are thinking of all of our population.
Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22.
In other news tonight, Maine Jewelry and Art will be closing its doors after bringing beauty to downtown Bangor for a dozen years. Our Jody Hersey stopped by the store to find out why.
COVID really was very difficult, and a lot of people are not going out to shop anymore. And also where the inflation and all the problems in trying to go food shopping and gas and oil, people are not buying the way they used to buy.
The retail market isn't what it used to be, which is why Roxanne Monksgard, Amanda Coburn, and Ann Regstead have decided it's time for a change at Maine Jewelry and Art in Bangor.
Amanda has relocated, and Ann and I are getting up there in years. We really would like to, quote, retire.
That's why Maine Jewelry and Art will be available online only beginning February 1st, 2023. Where all of the owner's products already exist. Not being able to shop in the brick and mortar business will be difficult for some, especially Donna Comstock.
I am going to miss being able to come in and see all the beautiful things that are in here. I'll miss being able to see and touch and feel. That's kind of buyer I am.
However, moving to an online store will allow the owners to try new opportunities.
I've been asked to teach, and I've never had the time because of running a store. I've also had people who've wanted to collaborate with me, other artists. So I'm looking forward to maybe doing some big mosaics.
Maine Jewelry and Art is hosting a last hurrah at the store this Thursday night from 5 to 7 p.m.
We were all three at the point where we were ready to move on and do this online thing. Full time, yeah. And we're looking forward to it, actually.
In Bangor, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC7 and Fox 22.
And coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, the House January 6th committee has voted to refer former President Trump to the Department of Justice to face several criminal charges for his role in the Capitol insurrection.
And Ukraine's capital is once again under attack by Russian drone strikes. We'll have those stories and much more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
Look around your house. Home is more than just eating, sleeping, and sitting. Play some pool, air hockey, have some friends over. So now, come look around our house. Experience the choices at Jordan's.
Wherever you are, whether you're ready or not, it's coming. With a purpose, with persistence, with the power to change the way you live. So you don't have to change the way you live. Generac automatic standby generators. Control your power, control your life. Visit Generac.com.
You can get any phone you want.
Anyone I want?
Any phone you want.
Connection is the greatest gift of all. At U.S. Cellular, we're offering any phone free for new and current customers, plus $100 to spend on accessories.
Don't cry, don't whine. Get yours where I got mine. At BB's Tattoo Company, 262 Moosehead Trail, Newport.
If you should die, that is nature's way of saying you've failed.
Just facing all of my worst fears here.
I don't care how rich or famous they are, they will play by our rules.
Special Forces World's Toughest Test, January 4th on Fox.
I did what I did because I had to.
He's dangerous.
To make this right, you have my word.
Make your space the place to be. Enjoy each moment and create memories with friends and family. And now, get up to 60 months no interest. Experience the fun at Jordan's.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
The House Select Committee's investigation into the January 6th Capitol riot ends with a panel of 7 Democrats and 2 Republicans recommending criminal charges against former President Trump. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more.
After 10 public hearings, more than 1,000 interviews, and more than 1 million documents collected, the House Select Committee wraps up its investigation into the January 6th Capitol riot.
I mean, it's a waste of time, a waste of taxpayers' money, and now that they've got their time on television, we can get back to working for the American people.
Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill plowing ahead tonight and focusing on the future, hours after the stunning conclusion of the House Select Committee's investigation into the January 6th uprising nearly 2 years ago. The committee voting to refer former President Trump to the Department of Justice on several criminal charges. Those charges included inciting an insurrection, obstruction of an official proceeding, and conspiracy to defraud the United States.
Nobody before, much less a president, had ever come so close to overthrowing a presidential election and bypassing the Constitution.
The referral itself is mostly symbolic. The DOJ will ultimately decide whether to prosecute Trump. Democrats, however, are hopeful it happens, since the DOJ has expressed interest in the committee's work as they work on their own separate investigation.
No one should get a pass.
Meanwhile, in a slew of posts on his website Truth Social, Trump condemned the committee's referral. Trump calling the charges fake and saying, quote, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger." The former president also accusing Democrats of trying to derail his election campaign, an issue some Republicans think won't be a problem.
They're going to keep him in the news, which is probably good for President Trump, to have his name out there, good or bad publicity.
The committee's full report is expected to be released Wednesday. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Meanwhile, ongoing protests in Peru have left hundreds of international tourists stranded. Fox's Phil Keating has that story.
I came here to visit Machu Picchu. The government shut down and now we're stuck here.
Frustration and anxiety for hundreds of tourists stuck in the historic city of Machu Picchu and other areas of Peru.
We're really lucky that we're in Cusco and not in Machu Picchu, which you can't get out except by plane.
Trains into the city and major roadways were all blocked over the weekend due to the ongoing demonstrations following the ousting and arrest of former Peruvian President Pedro Castillo. He was taken into custody after trying to dissolve the country's Congress ahead of an impeachment vote. In response, his supporters took to the streets last week in violent protests that's left at least 20 people dead.
I don't feel 100% safe. I'll feel safe once we get the plane takes off from Lima to the U.S.
The political crisis has left thousands of international travelers stuck at airports and hotels. At Machu Picchu, the armed forces had to conduct humanitarian helicopter flights to help move some tourists and sick people out of the area. While partial rail service is expected to resume this week into the ancient city, some American tourists say that is not enough. Many are hoping the U.S. government steps in to help them make it back home for the holidays.
We have work. We've got a dog. It's Christmas. We'd like to spend that with family.
Some good news for worried travelers. The government of Peru announced that air travel will resume as of now at the largest airport in the country's southern region. Phil Keating, Fox News.
Twitter CEO Elon Musk could be passing the reins of his newly acquired social media platform to someone else after he asked people to vote on whether or not he should remain the head of the company. Fox's Lauren Blanchard explains from Washington.
Twitter owner and CEO Elon Musk may step down as the head of the social media platform if he does what his users want. Sunday, he polled the Twitter community on what he should do, promising, "I will abide by the results of the poll." 17.5 million votes later, more than 57% said yes, step down.
A CEO publicly voting on, what a company should necessarily do. To me, as an investor, it says, here's a guy who does not have a vision.
Musk cryptically then tweeted, as the saying goes, be careful what you wish as you might get it. It's unclear who could or would succeed Musk. He still owns Twitter, meaning he will still be involved. It's been a rocky couple of weeks for Musk as advertisers have left Twitter and he's faced pushback for banning some journalists.
We said, if you'll be responsible moderators of content, we will give you immunity. They haven't been. So why should they continue to enjoy that immunity from responsibility and liability?
Musk also remains the CEO of his car company, Tesla. Senator Elizabeth Warren has sent a letter to the Tesla board chairman expressing concern in the Twitter sale. Quote, I have a series of questions about how the Tesla board is dealing with conflicts of interest, misappropriation of corporate assets, and other actions by Mr. Musk that appear not to be in the best interests of Tesla and its shareholders. Since October, when Musk bought Twitter, shares of Tesla stock have decreased 35%. That means billions have been lost for those investors. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Russia is escalating its airstrikes on civilian targets in Ukraine, while Vladimir Putin looks to a regional ally for more military support. Fox's Nate Foy has more from Kyiv.
More Russian airstrikes in Ukraine, and for the third time in 6 days, targeting the capital, Kyiv. Ukraine says Russia launched 35 Iranian-made drones, with 23 targeting the capital. Only 5 drones made it through Ukraine's air defense, but those 5 caused significant damage to critical infrastructure and apartment buildings. Officials here once again pleading with the West to send more air defense capabilities, including the Patriot missile defense system.
A 100% air defense shield for Ukraine will be one of the most successful steps against Russian aggression. This step is needed right now.
The attack comes as Russian President Vladimir Putin works to gain support from a regional neighbor. Putin visited Belarus for the first time in more than 3 years, as Russian troops held military drills there, hoping to draw a key ally deeper into the war.
Belarus is a border to NATO countries, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and it would mean a lot to him geopolitically to have him in the war.
Meanwhile, to the north in Latvia, Ukraine's allies from Northern Europe held a meeting of their own, discussing new ways to support the Ukrainian military, including more severe economic consequences for Russia.
We must continue to focus on degrading Russia's capability to regroup and to resupply. And that means going after its supply chains.
Russia also announced on Monday they will be holding military drills with China as Moscow continues strengthening its relationship with Beijing. Reporting in Kyiv, Ukraine, I'm Nate Foy, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, an outdoor adventure company encourages women and girls of all ages to enjoy Maine's natural beauty.
And in sports, one hand in track and field standout commits to the University of Maine. We'll be right back.
My best life is when I have dragons to slay.
Something awful's bound to happen.
911 Lone Star, January 17th on Fox.
Start making holiday memories with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days.
Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Whenever Maine Wood Floors wants to know the weather, they log on to foxbangor.com. Whether you're searching to add beauty with a new hardwood floor or need to restore your old one, Maine Wood Floors is your hardwood flooring expert in Mid-Coast Maine.
Hammond Lumber Company is honored to be named one of the best places to work in Maine. To find your place on the Hammond team, click on the careers link at hammondlumber.com.
Welcome to my digestive system. It's pretty common here with a Line probiotic. You see, your gut has good and bad bacteria. And when you get off balance, you may feel it. The bloating, the gas. But Align helps me trust my gut again.
Plus, it's recommended by doctors nearly 2 times more than any other probiotic brand.
Just one a day naturally helps promote a balanced gut and soothe occasional bloating, gas, and discomfort. Align Probiotic. Welcome to an Align gut.
Happy holidays from Village Variety in Glenburn. Village Variety has been an active part in the Glenburn community for decades and plans to for decades to come. Stop by and see us today. Merry Christmas from Silver Fox Automotive in Herman, where there will always be a friendly face to greet you. Happy holidays from the Joe's Furniture Warehouse family. We thank you for your business and future new business customers.
If you've been injured in a serious accident, the insurance company is not your friend. Don't accept their low-ball offer. Make the call to a fighter, a serious law firm with the knowledge and experience to know what your case may really be worth. Go after every dollar you are entitled to. Tell the insurance company you mean business. Call Joe, the law offices of Joe Bornstein. Maine lawyers working for Maine people.
Find half-off deals today and save money by going to foxbangor.com.
Start making holiday memories with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Masks are still optional, but more big cities are recommending them as the spread of flu, COVID, and RSV continues to ramp up. Fox's Alexis McAdams has more from New York City.
With the holiday season now in full swing, that triple-demic doctors have warned about for weeks, hitting the country hard. Cases of flu, COVID, and RSV overwhelming healthcare systems once again. Right now, the flu is the biggest concern across the country. Every state except Alaska has moderate to high numbers of cases. And the CDC says at least 15 million people have been infected so far this winter, with 9,000 deaths reported, a big uptick from last year. Most doctors say they don't expect the situation to start improving till after the holiday season.
RSV is already on its way down. We usually see young children all get it by now, and now they have. I think flu will peak in January, be on its way down, and COVID also.
Here in New York City, masks are still optional, but with infections spiking, the health department has issued a new mask advisory, urging folks to mask up, but not everyone is on board.
I think I'm done with wearing masks because we've been doing it for 3 years, and I think most of us are vaccinated.
Meanwhile, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are calling on the FDA to do something about the shortages of children's Tylenol and other flu medicines, including ramping up domestic production or increasing drug imports.
Ask anyone who has kids or grandkids, and they'll know that this is happening. These shortages are temporary. They're supply chain shortages, but we need to alleviate them.
It's not just here in New York. Other big cities like Los Angeles have recommended that people mask up, but they've stopped short of a mask mandate. Reporting in New York City, I'm Alexis McAdams, Fox News.
An adventure company in Penobscot County called She Summits is inviting women and girls of all ages to enjoy the Maine outdoors. She Summits was founded in 2019 as a way to help women feel more comfortable navigating through the Maine woods and waters. The company takes participants hiking, kayaking, rock climbing, biking, and more throughout the state. The instructors and Maine guides who work for She Summits also teach participants how to be good stewards of the land. Amanda Hatley is the group's founder.
The parks that we recreate in here in Maine, we're on all public lands, and so we really look to not not only recreate on the land, but also care about it and teach young girls how to care about it as well.
Hatley says the company is planning a snowshoe adventure this coming January. If you're interested, you can learn more at shesummits.com. Just a great way to make everyone feel comfortable and welcome out in the great outdoors. We both know that there's so much to enjoy here in Maine.
So much to do, yeah.
Yeah, and just love that they're not specifying in any one thing. They're doing it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done any rock climbing before. I mean, I've done rock walls, but never, the real thing outdoors. Yeah. And it looks just amazing. I'm not sure if the heights thing would get to me a little bit, but it looks so cool.
It really does.
Yeah.
I have a couple friends who are climbers too, and it just blows my mind how fearless it seems like they are up there.
Sure.
But really impressive stuff, and just a great way to get involved and get outdoors.
Get the most out of Maine.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, Jeff Weller is coming back with our full 5 days. Stay with us.
Mostly low to mid-30s out there today. We could go for mid-50s for one day this week, followed by a sharp cool-off and some more wet weather. Those details for you when I come back.
Welcome to Rebecca's. For over 30 years, we've been serving our local customers in downtown Bangor, and we invite you to explore our historic shop.
Rebecca's carries many Maine-made products from local artisans. Perhaps you need a gift basket for your next celebration. We'll be glad to help. From blueberry ceramic dishes, gourmet foods featuring Stonewall Kitchen, fine wines to antique dishes and furniture. You're sure to find that perfect gift.
We hope to see you soon at Rebecca's.
Now you can take on the elements with confidence because your Ford dealers have weather-ready SUVs in stock. From Escape with available intelligent all-wheel drive, to Explorer with a terrain management system, to Bronco Sport with GOAT modes. So you'll be prepared to take the season by storm. Now returning lessees drive home a 2022 Explorer for $379 a month, or get no payments for 90 days when you buy with 4.9% for 72 months.
After getting into a car accident, my husband and I were unsure of how to deal with the other insurance company.
We made the decision to reach out to the law offices of Joe Bornstein.
One phone call got the ball rolling.
It was a free evaluation, but it was a big relief.
They were easy to work with, and it was clear right away that they cared about our situation.
Knowing that we had Joe's team working for us
and fighting for us
meant that I could focus on healing.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Oh, that's normal. Whoa.
This holiday season, get 2.9% APR for 48 months plus 500 trade assist cash on a new 2023 Forte.
My best life is when I have dragons to slay.
Something awful's bound to happen. 911 Lone Star, January 17th on Fox.
Here we go. Your full weather is brought to you by Varney Chevrolet. Come see what the Varney value is all about. And let's start here. The temperature results are in from November. And November came back as the 9th warmest November on record globally. So that's land and ocean temperatures. On this map, red is above average and blue is below. Certainly lots of red on the map during the month of November. Okay, so lots of you have travel plans this week, I know. Tonight looks fine. Tomorrow, no problems either. And Wednesday, too. But there's going to be a big system across our region, probably later Thursday, more likely Friday into Saturday. That could give us a rain-snow mix. And if it stays all snow, that snow could be locally heavy once again. Today, though, 34 here in Bangor, 35 Bar Harbor, 32 Millinocket. We'll take it. This is about where the averages are, temperatures this time of year. Tomorrow, about the same story with high temperatures back in the mid-30s. The northwest wind got a little brisky today, right? We had wind gusts near 30 miles per hour in a few spots. That will come down a bit tonight, but be back tomorrow with those wind gusts near 25 throughout the afternoon. Thus, our favorite, the small craft advisory posted for the coastal areas. Could see some wave heights out here approaching 8 to 10 feet throughout throughout the day tomorrow. So this is interesting again, right? So a little low pressure system is kind of propagating back toward our direction. There's not much going on here. In fact, it's falling into some very dry air here at the surface. So even though you see it on radar, it's not reaching the ground, but still, there could be a few flurries out there tonight, maybe even a light snow shower, not a big deal. Overall, mostly cloudy. And then our attention turns over here. So several nice days are on the way, including tomorrow and also Wednesday and most of Thursday before we get moisture from this system and that system, and that's going to move in our direction. And we have quite a weather maker on the way for us beginning later on this week into the weekend. As you know, a busy travel weekend is going to be disruptive across our region again with a big system in the area. This time, though, looking a little warmer. It looks like mostly rain with this system, but it's going to be a close call. Okay, visibility is down just a bit across parts of our northern areas tonight. There is some light snow and flurries here. It could move back toward our direction. Overall, though, just a couple flurries in the area tonight. Let's walk you through it. So System 1 gets out of here this evening. See you later. Behind it is still a bit breezy throughout our day tomorrow under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow night, same story. Wednesday, same story, partly cloudy skies, a little bit breezy out there as well. On Thursday, we'll start seeing increasing clouds across our area as that system gets closer and closer and closer. But until then, though, we're looking pretty good. So our forecast then for tonight, though, is mostly cloudy skies. There could be a couple of flurries out there. Breezy conditions, low temperatures down, upper 20s or so. For tomorrow, all right, so partly cloudy and breezy, a bit warmer than today. There will be a little bit of sunshine tomorrow. That's going to feel nice with those high temperatures back in the mid to upper 30s. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows mid-30s tomorrow. Same story for Wednesday. Thursday looking like mostly cloudy skies, a high of 36. That rain-snow mix gets in here late Thursday, throughout the day on Friday. Snow north and west, rain coastal down east areas. That snow could be heavy north and west. Rain in there too with a high temperature of 53, but then dropping drastically on Saturday with a high temperature of 34. Beth?
All right.
Well, a lot of time to figure out exactly what's going to happen this weekend, but
right.
Hopefully things shape up, turned about to
something
be
a
more
little
snow.
bit better than that,
Yeah.
please and thank you.
Yeah,
All
not
right.
loving that. All right, well, sports is coming up next, so stay with us for that.
Van Sickle Kia is Northern Maine's first choice for pre-owned vehicles. We have a great selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with payments and prices for every budget. Shop your favorite brands like Kia, Ford, Jeep, Toyota, Honda, Subaru, Volvo, and more, all serviced, state inspected, starting at just $99.99 with payments just $239 a month, only at Van Sickle Kia.
The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. I'm Peter Van Sickle. I guarantee it.
Nearly all commercial vehicles carry big insurance policies. So if you're hurt by one of these box trucks, or by a garbage truck, or by any kind of commercial vehicle, you may have a big case worth big money. But they don't just give that money up. You need someone who's going to fight for it. That's exactly why you need to call the Twos. I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. If you've been hurt by any commercial truck, call the Twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a commercial truck? Call the Twos. Call 222-2222.
Wait for it, wait for it.
Showtime.
Wow! Oh, my!
There's a lot of pride on the line.
Congratulations, you are the champion.
Let the celebration begin. Throw to second is. Oh, in time. Running out of room, and he makes the catch. Wow.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Securitas Security Services. Securitas Security Services is hiring in coastal and central Maine. If interested, please call 207-990-1776.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We will start on the track here. After a dominant junior season and a state championship this fall, one Hamden Academy track star has committed to continue his career as a black bear. Hamden Academy's Charlie Collins committed to UMaine last week. The senior distance runner won the PVC Large School state title in the 1,600 and 3,200 meter races this past year and finished top 10 in Class A for both events at the state title. He also won the Class A state championship in cross country. As for how he feels about this great accomplishment, Collins is just glad he can finally exhale.
It's very relieving. I don't have to worry about all of the work going into committing to college anymore. I can mostly just focus on the training and the work I need to put into getting ready for next year and the rest of this year.
Helping his prep is Hamden Academy's head track coach Jason Cash. Knowing Collins and his abilities, it was no surprise to him that Collins is taking the next step. And while that next step is already solidified, Collins still has some pretty high expectations for himself.
Well, he has an incredible work ethic, and that's first and foremost, that's what's going to take you a long way in this sport, is being able to not just set your goals, but to understand the work that it takes to achieve those goals. And he's set lofty ones, and he's set lofty expectations for himself with regard to how he goes about achieving those goals, and he comes through when he does that.
I'd like to win a couple state titles in the 16 and maybe the 8 or the 32. I'm not quite sure yet. And we'd like to get a 4x8 win, so another team kind of dynamic there. And I'd like to chase after the state mile record for indoor.
Congratulations to Charlie, wishing him luck and all his goals for the next 2 seasons. Let's stay with high school sports. A lot of action around the state on Monday. We will go to the Cross Center where John Baptist is taking on Presque Isle. Crusaders trying to get their first win of the season. Late second quarter, we will start. Presque Isle's Anna Jandro drains the corner 3. Wildcats lead by 8 at the half. Second half now, Baps Lily Higgins with the bounce pass to Jaden Schroepy, and she nails the corner 3 herself. A couple minutes later, it's Higgins going along the baseline, putting up the off-balance reverse lay-in. That's a nifty move right there. End of third quarter we go. Guess who? It's Lily Higgins for 3 and the tie. She's got it. Great comeback for Baps. They go on to win 47-43. All right, now for some boys action. Dexter playing host to Stearns. Let's start in the third quarter. Stearns' Caleb Shearer is going to knife his way through the Tiger defense and to the hole, and he gets the hoop. Stearns down 10. Final seconds of the corner. Bryce Connor is going to find Will Spratt underneath. He banks it in at the horn. Tigers up 40-25 after 3. Fourth quarter, Connor again. He gets the captain, Will Kuzniers, involved at the top of the key for the 3. That one goes down, and the connection continues here. Connor's throwing the Hail Mary down to Kuzniers. He lays it in, almost gets the dunk there, lands kind of funny. Dexter dominates late. They get the win 60-32 to go to 4-0. To the stable we go now. Hamden Academy girls hosting the Bulldogs from Portland. Broncos out to a hot start. Lucy Wiles on defense. She picks up the steal, recovers it, and then she is just going to step into this open 2 right here and drain it. And then Hamden still. It's Bella McLaughlin. She's going to take this one strong to the hoop, finishes through the contact. That is not easy. She makes it look so. Broncos would lead 13-0 before Portland would get it going. Valeria Yugu here. She gets in the paint, spins, gets that hook shot to fall, but Hamden Academy was just too much for the Dogs. McLaughlin gives and then gets it back for the open 3. Nothing but net. Broncos win this one 47-24. All right, staying with high school sports now. On Monday, teams gathered for the first ever in-person fall esports high school state championships at Central Maine Community College. Teams competed in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Rocket League, and League of Legends, with MCI winning the Super Smash Bros. Title, Rocket League going to Caribou, and League of Legends going to Noble. 34 schools participated throughout the fall, and that was narrowed down to 6 teams who competed in the fall state championships. One competitor says he's been a gamer since he was a kid.
It's just meaningful to me because it's the way I bonded with most of my friends is through video games, and to see it come into a competitive environment is just really, refreshing, and it really lets the friendly side of me come out and the competitive side, and it really just brings those two worlds together to create an incredible event like this.
The teamwork, the leadership skills, being a good partner, those things all are lessons that carry over whether they're playing a team sport, an individual sport, or you're doing an activity like this.
MPA says it partners with Play Versus, a gaming company, to put the event on. Congratulations to all those who participated. Let's go to the ice now. Down in Portland, and fresh off of a 2-game sweep over Adirondack, the Maine Mariners will wrap up their road trip Wednesday night in Reading. Sunday night, though, during the waning moments of the Mariners' win over the Thunder, Maine goalie Francois Brassard collects the puck and fires it all the way down the other end. And look at this, it goes into the net, a goalie goal. The amazing moment has since gone viral. This is Francois' third career goal. He had 2 in juniors hockey, but becomes the first Mariners goalie to find the back of the net.
Certainly really nice to do this for the organization. I mean, they've been around for a long time, and I think it's just kind of cool to be the first one. Obviously, it's not really a stat that shows up in my box score or whatever, but it's just cool to have.
All right, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Let me ask you a question. Do you do it every night? I mean, every night? Well, Jordan's customers do, and you could too. Come visit Bridget, get fitted for the right mattress, and you'll do it every night too, getting a great night's sleep.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
If you're 45 or older, it's time to take a step in owning your health. Getting a colonoscopy is one of the best things you can do to detect and prevent colon cancer in your future. Physicians at the St. Joseph Digestive Health Center are there to help you live life to the fullest, starting with a screening colonoscopy. Own your health by calling to schedule your colonoscopy. Call the St. Joseph Digestive Health Center at 907-3550. It's time.
Say goodbye to lag times and death spirals with our crazy fast fiber internet. At GoNet Speed, we've dropped our prices on fiber. That means hello to fast fiber internet starting at just $49.95 per month. Or go up to 1 gig, that's 1,000 megabits per second, for only $69.95 a month. The lowest prices we've ever offered. No contract, no hidden fees, no joke. Visit GoNetspeed.com to check availability in your area.
Your favorite restaurants for half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Here's this week's featured deal.
Great things are always cooking at the Ground. New menu, new specials, with an amazing variety of choices for every taste. Good times, great service, and amazing food. Only at your locally owned Ground, Odland Road, Bangor.
On sale Thursday at 9 a.m. A limited supply available half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Dear Elliot, we thought purchasing a mattress would be confusing, but the experience at Jordan's Sleep Lab was really different and easy. We are now doing it every night, getting a great night's sleep every night. Thank you.
Experience the difference at Jordan's.
It's Battle of the Ages.
These old geezers better work.
This old guy's here to play. This is a joke. Hell's Kitchen, Battle of the Ages, Thursday on Fox.
Welcome back. Time is running out to ship your holiday gifts to arrive by Christmas. It'll be a busy week for the nation's largest carriers, and they have some recommendations and recommended dates to ship your gifts by to make sure that they arrive on time. If you plan to use the U.S. Postal Service, the last day for Priority Mail service is Monday. For Priority Mail Express, it's on Friday. The last day to send gifts through the UPS 3-day select service is Tuesday. And for FedEx Express, Saver and 3-day freight services, the deadline is Tuesday.
Well, it was the Netflix show that had everyone talking during the COVID shutdowns, Tiger King. Fox Business's Ashley Webster talked to one of the stars about new legislation passed by the Senate, which will prohibit private ownership of big cats.
Why is it that someone in the United States can pretty easily buy a tiger, a lion, a big cat that don't belong in suburban settings, don't belong in those types of settings. Up until now, it's been pretty easy for these people to just, hey, I want a tiger, I'm going to go buy one, right?
Up until the Big Cat Public Safety Act, people could buy and sell these cats across state lines. They did it with cash, and that way it wasn't traceable, even though that was illegal to do it across state lines. But now that the Big Cat Public Safety Act has passed, they won't be able to sell them or trade them across state lines or even possess them unless they have a USDA license.
Why has it taken so long? It seems to me an obvious law, but it's taken a long time, right?
It has taken way too long to get this law passed, and I don't understand why, because there have been over 700 incidents where people have been killed or mauled or cats have escaped, and there's just no excuse for it. These are not native cats. They don't belong in cages. They certainly don't belong in private hands.
So will this law be able to prevent that?
This law will prevent the private ownership of these cats. The people who have them can keep them, but they never keep them past adulthood. So as soon as those cats end up going out to sanctuaries in the next 5 years or so, this entire problem in the United States will be over.
Do you think the whole Tiger King chaos helped in the long run bring attention to this issue, as strange as it was, and then eventually this law was able to be passed?
For all of the flaws in Tiger King, there was one scene where they were ripping that baby tiger through the wire to use as a pay-to-play prop, and when people saw that, they were outraged. And I heard so many people after that say, these animals don't belong in cages, they belong in the wild. And I was so thankful to hear that, and I think now Congress has heard that.
That's terrific. So obviously this is it's been a passion of yours, but I'm sure the fight doesn't stop here, right?
My passion is to see all wildcats living free. This is the first step to being able to save them in the wild where they belong.
And this is Jasmine, 400-pound tiger that was confiscated from a private owner in Ohio. Just one example of a very big illegal trade in wildlife. In fact, wildlife trafficking is the third largest illegal trade behind drugs and weapons. And it's hoped this new federal law will put a big dent in that trade and protect beautiful animals just like Jasmine.
Meanwhile, doctors say it's important to keep safety in mind when buying presents for children. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, there were more than 200,000 toy-related injuries in 2021. Doctors at the Cleveland Clinic say that smaller toys can be a choking hazard for younger children, and any toys with button batteries or high-powered magnets can cause serious internal injuries if swallowed. The highest number of injuries often come from non-motorized scooters. Safety gear is recommended when purchasing any riding toys. Manufacturing guidelines on the packaging of toys shows the right age the child should be to use that toys. It's pretty interesting they bring up the non-motorized scooters. I feel like every kid my age grew up with those razor scooters, those things flipping around and hitting you right in the shins. That was never a good feeling, but a feeling that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
I think I probably aged out of eligibility for those particular scooters, but I certainly skinned my knees a fair amount falling off my dirt bike.
Oh yeah, well, always important to be careful with your new toys.
Safety first. Good night, everybody.
Happy holidays from all of us right here at Family Feud.
Weeknights at 7 on Fox 22.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. With America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary